You say, when you serve a less fortunate person in any way, material or spiritual, you are not doing him a favor. In fact, he who receives your help does you a favor by accepting what you give, and thereby helps you to evolve and move closer to the divine, blissful being who in reality is within you and in the hearts of all beings.
I'm glad you picked that up. Yeah. I don't know how you picked that up because I have so many things, but it's
our friend Jeff Kober over here sitting in the corner. Guys, you can't see him. He often puts your quotes in his daily meditations that he sends out.
I know.
That's how I heard that one. And I stole it for my next book.
Very good.
Okay.
There's no stealing. This is universal property.
I will credit you.
No, you don't even have to,
Tell me more how your work and your teachings of your students helps propel them not just toward, personal transformation and inspiration, but into the hard work of service in the world.
True example. Wherever we function, we do some things which are useful to humanity. In India, we do a lot of work because we have free schools for the poor kids who cannot afford to pay fees. We have a full-fledged free hospital which does a lot of work, including accident and trauma, care. We go out into the villages in mobile vans and doctors go there and check people and try to help them out. We also do a lot of tree planting. I am of the opinion that once the trees disappear from this earth, we are finished. The earth does not exist really if you don't have trees, greenery.
Yeah.
So we have started something called the My Tree. Now,
My Tree?
Because people plant trees, but they don't care for it.
Right.
So you have
to adopt a tree.
Yeah. So this is my tree. So I take care of it. Now, also in Sanskrit, My Tree means friendship.
Oh.
My Tree. So we worked on that and made something, and thousands and thousands of trees have been planted. We are also taking care of cleaning the rivers. Water body development, and many things. If you just go into our website and check on this.
satsang-foundation.org. People can find more information. You don't know your website. You need a business card.
I know. I don't have a business card. That's another thing. I also go and talk to churches, to temples, to all kinds of places. I've been to the Christian seminary in Kerala, which is a very important church. The Syrian church is one of the most ancient churches.
Wow.
Even before Europe became Christian, the St. Thomas is supposed to have gone to Kerala. They have an old Orthodox Syrian church there. So I go to the seminaries and I talk to those people and I tell them, you don't have to learn anything. You have everything with you. Why don't you look carefully into this?
So what do you tell them again? Can you repeat that?
You don't have to look here and there. I'm not saying that you should teach Hinduism or no, that's fine. You look at your own texts in your books deeply in and figure out what is being said there, and you found what is outside.
What's your view on Jesus?
I think he was an extraordinary person, an extraordinary being. I won't say biologically son of God or anything of that kind. I can't say that.
Metaphorically son of God?
Metaphorically, yes. I think here was an individual who was a typical wandering yogi, moving from place to place, not a place to stay. You know the famous quote, the foxes have dens and the snakes have holes. Son of man knows not where to lay his head. In the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, such a yogi is called Aniketa, one who has no home. Not so when people say homeless, I'm a little upset because homeless is not such a bad thing from one point of view, So I think he was, and if you look at the Sermon on the Mount only, forget about other things. Luke, Mark, anybody. you find Matthew, John, the essence of what one would call a spiritual being and spiritual life is beautifully expressed. And in fact, it appears more akin to Hindu and Buddhist teachings than anything else. I'm not saying that he learned, please. There is this thing, everything came from one place. No, I don't believe in that. It must have come.
But there's a universal message at the heart of the Hindu teachings, the Buddhist teachings, and the Christian teachings. How would you summarize that?
I don't know how to summarize this.
Love. Service.
Care. Love, service. And to seek peace in the depths of your being, of your heart. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Nobody said, blessed are the Christians, that they should be called the children of God. Peacemakers. So the moment you cease to be a peacemaker, you're no more a Christian from that point of view, from Jesus' point.
There are a few Christians here in the United States that are not quite peacemakers.
I know that. We are very aware of that.
Yeah.
In India, we have all kinds of religions in India. There are Muslims, there are Christians, there are Hindus, the majority. And they're always fighting with each other and, the whole thing. Not always, because the majority religion, which is the Hindu system, is very adaptable. It adapts everything. But even then, there are times when each side becomes more militant than the other. So I decided that let me walk from Kanyakumari through the length of India till Kashmir, which is in the north. And why Kanyakumari? Because that is the end of land's end for India. The two oceans meet. And Kashmir is the northernmost state we have in India. So I said, many great people have walked. I said, even a small person like me can walk. Why not? So, like St. Francis of Assisi, you know that. He walked. Swami Vivekananda walked. Shankaracharya walked. Only a little bit here and there, Gandhiji also walked. He didn't do a long thing, but he did. So I said, it's time that somebody does this. And I'm ideal for that. My passport is still with a Muslim name. And I teach Hindu scriptures and meditation. So I thought this would be the... And
who better to unite?
I also went to the Loyola College and I have studied a lot of Christianity from the Jesuits. So I said, why not? So I just said to a group of people that I'm going to do the walking. Whether you want to come or you don't want to come, it's up to you. I'm walking. Very soon, people gathered and said, we are with you, we are with you. And help came from everywhere, and so we started the walk.
So was it a purpose to unite the Muslims and Hindus?
Not just Muslims and Hindus, to unite humanity as in India at that moment. Of course, because there was that also, that here is a guy walking, this is his name. But then by then everybody knew me as M. So people were curious, who is this M? Who's he? Who is he? So we walked the length and breadth. I don't know how much I could contribute to this, but I can say I learned a lot. We learned a lot of things because people, something, basically people are peace-loving. People want to have peace. They want to live together as long as politics doesn't come into the picture. This is what I learned.
Yes.
It's politics that brings about these problems. All politics from the minorities, politics from the majority.
Is it possible to bring spiritual thought and teachings and principles into politics?
I try my best, but unfortunately it's not so easy.
It's not easy, but is it possible?
I think it's possible. As far as the Indian situation is, I'm in close touch with many other people coming from across the political parties. But it's because politics by itself is something to do with power and at all costs, it's not so easy. But if there is a little bit of spirituality in a politician, he or she will be much better than the other. I don't want to use names, but I think so. It took us 1 year and 3 months to finish the walk. We were
Wow.
basically on the road.
How many kilometers?
I think in 7,500 kilometers. Or so.
Okay. Wow.
And by the time then we reached Kashmir.
How many people were walking with you at a time?
When we started, there were about 200-300 people walking.
Mm.
They all fell off, and there were about a group of 50-60 people with me all the time. And then it reduced, it became 35. But as the walk advanced, every place we went, sometimes we were mobbed because there were hundreds and thousands of people. You won't believe it. It looked like a political rally. You know?
And what were the people coming to see you or coming to support the walk?
Support the walk, see me, saying thank you for what you're doing. Things like that, and garlanding, you know. Finally, it became so difficult. I think you also were there partly for the walk. People were putting so many, we had to just...
Too many garlands.
Please don't put these
things. It's like they're heavy to carry garlands, 7,000.
I mean, you can't see.
You can't see. And it's heavy to carry 7,000 kilometers.
So difficult.
So many flowers.
But it was really very nice. People really appreciated, they supported. And then we reached Kashmir, we said, God. And that was a time when there was heavy militancy going on in Kashmir.
Yes. Well, there still is.
Yeah, but less.
Okay.
But nobody threw stones at us. This is what I'm trying to do.
You were embraced.
We walked in on a Friday when these things used to happen after the Friday prayers in the mosque. Nothing.
So in America right now, one of the things we talk about a great deal on Soul Boom is the mental health crisis of young people.
Yeah.
Anxiety, especially, depression, addiction, and a loneliness epidemic. Certainly it's people's screens and phones and
all the time
being siloed into different small groups. What can you say to the young people of America about this mental health epidemic? And are there some spiritual tools that they can turn to find some hope and peace and connection?
I think so. But I think for them to really listen, fellow Americans who are aware of this should go and talk to them. They shouldn't feel that they're trying to be taken advantage of. You say, look, we need to have classes, we need to have discussions, we need to open them up for this discussion. People, generally, they refuse. We don't want. But then if a fellow American who sits with them, who knows what life is in the United States, how things happen, if they can spend some hours, if somebody is ready to spend some hours, go to schools, go to colleges, have meetings with these guys and say, can we first figure out what is the problem? Don't tell them this is the problem.
Do you have any inkling of what might be the problem from your perspective?
I think
You've just spent a month in Texas.
Yeah. I think the problem is that there is no spiritual content.
Spiritual content?
Content. They're not taught anything in the schools, colleges, nothing. Well,
curriculum, spiritual curriculum.
Yeah. Some may be going to church on Sundays, but it's confined to just a Sunday. You know?
So how do you think spiritual content or curriculum or teachings can help young people with this? How?
So they begin to reflect and say, we are wasting our time. Everybody makes some money and then it's gone and you're born and you're dead. I mean, there must be some meaning to life. All I'm saying is just plant the seeds that they sit up and think there may be an alternate way of living. Perhaps. If that starts, then we can build on it. Till that start is very difficult.
Planting a seed of there must be some meaning to life.
Yes.
And let's start the journey
to explore that. Let's explore.
Maybe there's a podcast out there that can help people start that journey.
Yeah, you should be doing something.
I should.
I'm saying
really
you should. It has to come from...
I am. That's what this is, you silly Willy. Goodness gracious.
No, what I mean is that it has to come from somebody here in the United States, not from anywhere.
Right. Okay. Wonderful.
And there is hope. They're young people. They're very nice people.
Yeah.
It's not that, but they're not being guided. They're going this way, that way. They don't know what to do.
I heard a wonderful statistic going back to service. this has to do with positive psychology, that people who volunteer once a week to be of service to others have a 16% uptick in happiness and well-being.
Nice.
And that's equivalent to someone doubling their income.
Good idea.
So, but we talk a lot about increasing income. If you look on TikTok and YouTube and podcasts and newspapers and media, but we don't talk about being of service every week and how that can create just as much happiness and well-being inside. And you don't have to work as hard.
Yeah. And may I say something?
Please.
That this, when you increase your money, why do you increase it? For happiness? And if that doesn't come, then there's no point. So the important element is the happiness out there.
Yes, yes.
My grandfather once gave me a book to read because he thought I was an idiot. Why wasting his time? All the spiritual man. So he said, look, you're still young. You can change your life. And the book was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay, Napoleon Hill,
yeah.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
Right.
So
that's like how to win friends and influence people, like Dale Carnegie.
So and then finally, I read another book by Napoleon Hill, which he wrote in the last years of his life, saying that the greatest richness is happiness. If you don't get that, there's no point.
So you were on the right path all along.
My grandfather thought I was an idiot, but I think I was.
How can one find joy?
Joy is something that is inside you. You need to just go in and look at yourself in your pure state, which means when your mind is tranquil, calm, when there is no disturbance in your mind, there's no opposing battles going on inside. There's a joy that wells up in you, which is so beautiful, and you don't have to buy it anywhere. It's your own. In fact, it's interesting.
So it's tapping into something that's already there, not looking outside of yourself.
No. In fact, it's interesting that the ultimate reality in Vedantic terms is called Satchidananda.
Right. Being, consciousness, bliss.
Yes, bliss. And where is it? Within you.
Bliss is in you. Yeah.
Whatever bliss and happiness you get in the outside world is just a small part of this being tapped.
Do you ever feel bliss?
Always. Always. But I feel sad when sometimes difficult to share it with others. But that's how it is.
I wanted to bring one of your most devoted and favorite students and a dear friend of mine to the table. I know he had a couple of questions he wanted to ask on the record officially.
Sure.
And I want to bring over Jeff Kober, my dear friend who has a beautiful daily meditation that he releases and hosts a little show on our channel called Day Shift. Let's bring Jeff up. Always a pleasure to see you. So do you have some questions for your teacher to share with us?
The questions that I get, I would love to hear your answers to. With all of the suffering in the world, how do we make sense of that in terms of consciousness is one thing, the divine exists. There is so much suffering, and people are making sense of that suffering by getting smaller and acting from fear and from separation. How do we make sense of the suffering and, without ignoring it, find our way forward at this time?
I think ignoring is the worst thing that one can do.
Yeah.
The only way you can do is to accept it and to recognize it and see what we can do in our own small way to mitigate the sufferings of humanity. Plus, the understanding that ultimate solution lies in finding your essence. But you can't say that prematurely to somebody who's suffering. When somebody is suffering, you can't go and say, look, find out the truth, it is in you, and things like that. So the first thing I think is that we should begin to feel the pain of the suffering of others. And then from there, the action then becomes, it comes out in the proper way. We can't even plan it properly. If I feel really the suffering of women, then how to interact with them and how to try to pull them out of that. The brain has its own way of working it out.
Mm.
It may not be even what we thought. It may be completely different. In some way, when somebody is suffering, at least for a short while or a few days, we should be with them and learn what the suffering means. Because we won't be able to feel it as we live our lives. It's when we go there that you really feel the suffering.
You're asking a lot of people. You're asking people to lean into the misery of others, to study it, learn from it, and allow it to affect you.
Yeah.
And there's a natural human impulse, I know I have a lot of family members who are like this, that to not look at suffering.
No.
They don't want to approach it and get to know it.
That is not the solution. This is what I'm trying to say. But that opens up, and I think a lot of people, one person may be able to affect 1,000 people. Because as I see it, because of my understanding, I say there is only one mind. Right? The mind is working through different centers. Right? So if there is one mind, if I feel the pain of others, the compassion from me will pass on to that person, and the whole thing begins to get a new life. It's not always the suffering that happens because of lack of wealth. Not always. Many a time you have everything you want, but deep down you're dying, you're suffering.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
welcome to Hollywood, baby.
I don't know that. So for that, we need to go with them, sympathize with them, stay with them. There's no way to change it with any reformation from outside. This is what I'm trying to say.
Tell me if I'm hearing you, that there's only one mind, one consciousness, and what I do in consciousness matters absolutely to the whole of consciousness.
Absolutely. So let's put it this way. If you need a logic, I have a fear of something, right? You have a fear of something, right? You may not be afraid of what I'm afraid of, but fear is a common factor. Right? Why? Because there's only one mind. Yeah. Now, you may hate something. I may not like something. The object that you hate may be different from what I hate, but hate, common factor. So if you look at it, many of these emotions are common factors. Why? Because they are part of the same mind. Now, the corollary I'm trying to draw from this is, therefore, if that is so, then a change in one part should affect the other.
Yeah.
If there is only one mind, sir, then if I change here, it should affect the other.
The more people cultivate thoughts of peace and a sense of peace, that peace can spread like a virus.
Yes, because the opposite happened when people spread hatred. We know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could see that.
One person.
So one of the problems that I see happening is because so many people are in such fear today, they're finding a position to own, to find stability in some positionality of, I'm for this, which means I'm against what you're for.
Yes.
How do we allow for other people to have their positionality and not judge them for it, and also not fall into our own positionality against theirs?
Yes. Yeah. This is the essence of the teachings that we have in the ancient India, for instance. I may say this in Sanskrit, but that's because the language at that point was Sanskrit, not because it is, you know what I mean.
Yes.
It's meant for the whole world. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vedanti. This is from the Rig Veda, maybe 2,000 years old, perhaps more. It says, there is only one truth, but the wise may call it by different names. The teacher, may call it by different names. So to understand that even if there is one truth, you can look at it in different ways, and therefore don't say this is the only right view of the truth, because it is infinite. It must have infinite ways of looking at it. So to make ourselves understand first about this, so that you don't say that I am always right. Young people come to me before they get married, because they go to the swamis and sannyasins who are unmarried. What opinion can they give about how to do? So they come to me because I'm a married man. So, sir, what do you suggest? That we are going to get together, getting married. We are in love with each other. Any suggestions? I tell them, start your life saying that I may be wrong. I may not always be right. Right? So this applies to everything on this earth. The problem is because I think I'm right and I'm the only one who is right, which is not true. The other guy has his own opinion. He may be right too in some way.
Yeah.
So if that process begins to happen slowly, then we don't make our thought processes so, what do you call that? Crystallized and so hard that you can't break and move out of it. So I think that is the kind of thing that needs to be cultivated.
Now that reminds me of a question that came up when I was listening to you. I loved when you said that we take clay and put it into a mold, put the halves together, but then we have to break the mold in order to see what shape we've created.
Right.
How does that I love that metaphor. What is the mold that we must break? The idea that
only one mold, that I'm always right.
So stay teachable, stay open, always be asking what next.
Always. Nobody is absolute. We are all limited in some way, although our source is unlimited.
We all here know the power of meditation and the necessity of listening within and finding that place of quiet. How do you recommend people pray? There's the loneliness epidemic, I think, can be at least approached by the idea that there's something listening, there's something watching, there's something that cares, there's something going on here that wants my highest good. Do you recommend or suggest or offer ways of speaking to or asking for help from something greater than this small self? And what does that look like and how does that work?
Well, it's like this. First of all, we need to accept, at least on faith for the time being, that there is because for ages, all great people have been saying, all people who have had experience, that there is an energy, there is a power, there is a goodness in this world. It's beyond the world and also in the world. So this is the thing you pray to. It is this entity that you're praying to. And it so happens that a spark of that entity is in all of us. Mm-hmm. So direct your prayers here, because that you don't know, we don't know. But here we know. So direct your prayer here and make it very simple. Like, I want this, please help me. No. If you are the all-knowing Supreme Being, you know what I need. Please grant me what I need. This is the humblest prayer that one can make. Plus, very often, what we need in our evolution is perhaps not what we want.
Right.
One needs to make a little distinction between.
And there's also in the Katha Upanishad, the talk of prayas and shreyas. That which is pleasant is not necessarily good, and that which is good is not necessarily pleasant.
That's a beautiful discussion in the Katha Upanishad. When the Lord of Death is talking to this young boy, and he says to him, look, I must tell you this. In this world, there are two things. One that is pleasant and one that is good. It is not always necessary that what is good is pleasant.
Which is
And what is pleasant is good.
which is leaning into the suffering of others, feeling the way it feels to be in a body and to have to step into the unknown again and again and again on a daily basis. That's not necessarily pleasant.
I know it's not pleasant, but then any great thing to be achieved is not always pleasant.
Yeah.
Not always.
What is anxiety, and how can you counter anxiety?
Now, physiologically, what does anxiety do? If you look at carefully, physiologically, anxiety makes you nervous. Anxiety makes your breath go up and down very fast. You don't know what's going to happen. You're in a panic. The ultimate essence of this is panic, right?
Hmm.
Now, I say that if this is happening, and yogis have discovered that whenever you're anxious, your breath is working in a particular way, in a particular rhythm. If you can control that rhythm and bring it to the perfect rhythm which is recommended by yoga, you can actually counter anxiety. You may not be able to take care of the root that caused the anxiety, but in the human being,
It's a tool to address the anxiety.
Address the anxiety. And if you have addressed the anxiety, then only will you be able to discover its roots. You cannot as long as you're anxious.
Right. If you're stuck in the anxiety, you can't have the foresight to get to the bottom of it.
Exactly. I think so.
Is there a simple breath technique you can show us now?
Very simple. It's from our tradition also. We call it the hum-saw technique.
Say that again.
Hum-saw.
Hum-saw?
Hum-saw.
Okay.
S-A-U, saw.
Okay.
H-U-M, hum.
Okay.
It's very simple. It can be done at any situation, not when you're driving, of course, but you can sit down somewhere for a few minutes, close your eyes, and it's like vipassana. Watch your breath. Look, we don't give any attention to our breath. And the breath is the most important thing in our lives. You can do without drink, you can do without food, but 1 minute without breath is impossible. It's the most important, but we don't give any attention to it. We don't even know how to breathe, honestly. So what I'm saying, suggesting in this technique is watch your breath. Give attention to something which you have forgotten about. Say how important this breath is to me. When it stops, I'm dead. So give complete attention. Give holy attention to it. Holy attention.
Holy attention, yeah.
Yeah, breath. This is the breath of life. God makes human beings and then breathes the breath of life. You see the breath. So close your eyes and watch your breath as you inhale. As the breath goes in, follow the breath. And we say that when you watch the inhalation, chant mentally the sound hum as you watch. Hum. Don't hold. Exhale, saw.
But you're saying this in your head.
Yes. Hum, saw. And there is one school which follows breathing. When you exhale, you do it through your mouth. So you actually make the sound of saw. Hum. You do this for 5 minutes and you'll see the anxiety levels are down.
I already feel less anxious.
Right? Yeah.
Just take 30 seconds.
5 minutes. Just do it for 5 minutes. Just don't think why you're doing it. Just hum, saw.
But I love bringing a holy attention to your breath.
Yeah, right.
Too.
That's all you need to do.
Oh, I love that. Here is a soul boom spiritual tool for modern living, hum saw, breathing to address your anxiety.
And it belongs to no denomination, no church, no temple.
Everyone is welcome.
Breath is common to all.
There's one question we ask every guest, and we've kind of already touched on this, but the name of the show is Soul Boom. Look at our new microphones.
So
Isn't that nice?
boom, yeah.
But soul is such a tricky word. How would you define soul?
I would say soul is the true essence of our being, which is therefore common to all human beings. The true essence of our being is my soul. You know, we even have an expression that somebody is a soulless chap.
Soulless. Yeah.
Soulless. I mean, there's no essence.
They're disconnected from their essence.
Totally.
Yeah. Well,
And boom sounds to me like what do you call that? The first bang that created the
The
world.
Big Bang.
Big Bang.
that's it. That's
The
it.
boom.
Well, Sri M., sir, thank you so much for coming to the Soul Boom Studios.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom and insight. It was a beautiful conversation.
Thank you. I'm thankful to you. Thank you very much. And Jeff, for introducing me to
And
you.
bringing us together.
And
Thank you,
bringing
Jeff.
us together. Thank you.
All right.
Good evening.